Hey everybody, back with another arcade test repair journey, whatever my channel's called, video. If you think you're seeing double, you are. I did a video probably a year ago, I'm not sure when, on the CR70 and it failed the field test. And I troubleshot it and it looked like it was a bad transformer. Eventually another one came up that was reasonably priced. And so I picked up another CR70, and we are going to not rehash what I did on the old one. I'll link to that video. But we're going to do a field test on this one, and if it passes, then I'll be able to figure out what kind of transformer I need to fix the first one. So let's see how far we get in this video. So I have not even powered this thing on since I bought it. So this is really my first time going through it. We have our cable. We have our power connector. I'm going to plug that in over here. We have our CR70 book, and basically they glue it on here, but both of the retainers, oh no, one retainer is broken. But maybe I could actually remove, yes, these always break. I don't know. Seemed like a good idea, but this book is basically your setup book. Tells you what pins to use for what tubes. And I think that should, does that connect? Okay, yeah, that's good. I have not plugged it in. Oh, obviously you didn't, I don't have to cut that out. You didn't see anything. There, has all the sockets. Alright, so let's power this thing on. Got filament voltage set. We don't need to worry about that. I just want to see if it powers on. Okay, cool. It powers on. That's good news. Okay, so now we're going to set this up to do the field test, and you basically need to hook up your connector to your universal adapter, and you align the dots when you plug in the adapters, just like that. And then we put on our multimeter. Let's see, maybe I zoom out just a little bit. How's that? Go to voltage. We can go to auto volts, I guess. And we need to read our directions. So basically set up your universal adapter so that positions F1 to 1 like that, this one to 2, F2 to 2, K to 3, G1 to 4, G2 to 5, select red RB over here, select it all the way to the left, your gun select, red or black and white scope, and CRT to video. I'm going to do that. DC, set it to DC volts. Alright. We're on AC right now. There we go, DC volts. It's set to positively to G1 and ground to K. I already did this in a previous video, but maybe you won't watch that, so I'll go ahead and do it here. That's G1. G1 to positive, and K to the ground. Alright, and here's the big test because I couldn't even get past this part. Set the function switch to remove G1 short. Press the rejuve button. Digital voltmeter should read greater than 350 volts. So we're going to put this to remove G1 short. Oh, I got some voltage, which is nice. Alright, there's my remove G1 short. Boom. This one works, which is nice. Or it seems to work, at least on that test. Yeah, it was over 300. It got about 370. Oh, almost 400. There we go. Okay, cool. Let's see here. It says, I never got this far in my previous video because it failed that first part. Auto restore. Set the function switch to auto restore and the external DVM to DC current. Well, it doesn't tell you to move to change your leads. Obviously, if you're going to measure current, you gotta change your leads. So let me. All right, I left my leads how they were. So K is ground, and then G1 is positive. Set it to auto restore, and if I press restore, and I also obviously changed it to milliamps here. If I hit restore on the auto restore, it should cycle 3 times at roughly between 80 and 120 milliamps. There's 118 milliamps. Yeah, that's the 3rd time. Nice. Perfect. So that's all this says. Does it say anything else? Oh, it does. It says manual restore. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Set the function switch to manual restore. Press the redo button. The external current meter should read between 80 and 120 with no cycling. And then going to manual 2, it should be 150 milliamps. So we should get 120 milliamps here. We get about 117, so that's close. And it won't cycle off, so you just press and hold it there. Then we should go up to 150 milliamps here. Well, that's about 170. Alright. Then we can do the bias voltages. Set the function switch to cutoff. Alright. Set external DVM to DC volts. So we gotta unplug this thing. And go back to volts. Alright, 34 volts. Interesting. Because I haven't adjusted it, maybe. As you switch through the different bias voltages, where is my bias at? That's my cutoff. Oh, right here. 36 volts, right. So I'm set at 36 right there, and you see that there's 34 volts. It says negative 34 because it's a negative bias. I've covered that in a whole bunch of times. So I think in relationship to, what, K or G1, but whatever. We got negative 34 volts. If I go to 20, we're pretty close. 52 is at 49. 68 is at 64, so it's pretty close. It's not, right on. Now we gotta move our positive lead to G2. It says move our positive lead to G2. I did that off camera probably if you couldn't see it. With the cutoff control adjusted, look for a voltage swing of 20 to, oh, okay, this right here. So our cutoff set should range from around 20 volts all the way to 400 volts for our G2 voltage. Perfect. Nice. Alright, and then our filament volts, we put our F1 lead, our positive lead on F1, and no, ground on F1 and positive on F2. Alright, let's do that. F2 positive and F1 negative, right? Now, filament volts could be, in this case, it looks like it's DC voltage. It's not always that way when you actually are getting heater voltage from a chassis in the tube. You should be able to read the filament voltage. All right. Okay, cool. Let's see, I'll read this whole thing to you. You should be able to read the filament voltage on the digital voltmeter. The reading will depend on what the filament volts are set to on the CR70. Note, if your CR70 is a run 16 or lower, your filament voltage will be an AC voltage. Interesting, because I don't know what model mine is. We can look at that and compare it to the other one as well. But we're definitely at DC volts. We're at 1, and we're getting less than 1, so let me just kind of adjust it to 2. Oh, about midway probably is where it would be, right at the number now. Alright, right there. That's 2 volts. Let me go to the filament set and see if our reading is also... Oh, that's perfect. Hopefully you can see that. See, the needle is right at 2 volts, and I'm at 2 volts on my multimeter. So the meter's also reading correctly, which is good. Let's go to 3. Yep, the meter's like right on the nose. 4. Adjust it a little bit higher. 5. No, that's 6. And 6.3 is right on the red line. The red line, the meter's just slightly off the gauge or whatever. Let's go to 8. Yeah, as we're getting higher in the voltage, the gauge is just a little bit off. Not really. That looks pretty good. It's close. Might be like a half a volt off. Yeah, see if I go up to 13. That's almost like 13.5, so it's almost a half a volt, so towards the lower numbers, but relatively close. I guess I could. I wonder how you adjust that. So this thing passed the field test, which is nice, because I was worried about it, and we might be able to use this one to fix the other one. But first, I think I'm going to do a tube restore with using this first. Alright, I have a tube set up, and I also have the CR70 set up. This came out of an elevator action. I don't know, it doesn't have a tube number on it, but typically and this isn't the right frame for this tube because it says there 483,594, and down here it's 479 something. So, but regardless, it does list a few. Gosh dang it, it's upside down, but I'll zoom in. Those are the typical tubes that come with this chassis. So we're just going to do 19 VLTP 22. 19 VLTP 22. And it's socket 3. I already put the socket on there. Let's see here. CRT type is video. And yeah, let me just read this real quick. I'm trying not to move the camera around too much, but you guys see it. Filament 9, filament 2 is 10. So one thing that I don't, and no wonder these can probably get screwed up probably, is that you actually have to set what pins the filament voltage is on. And I had mentioned this, I think in my previous video. This probably allows you to use less adapter CRT sockets, and then you can switch it within the socket, like what voltage is on what pin for what function. But it seems like it's easy probably to screw it up too. I kind of like having it hardwired in the adapter potentially, and it probably doesn't change that much anyway. But anyway, so filament F1 should be pin 9, F2 filament 2 pin 10. So that's where you got there, 9 and 10. Our filament voltage is going to be 6.3 volts. I already have that kind of set up. Our negative bias is 68. And then we have to test each gun separately. So red K, green K, and blue K, those all go together right there. So first we're going to test red. And for that 2 VLTP, red K is on pin 8, and then green is on 6, and blue's on 11. So we're going to test 8, red first. And then G1 is on pin 5, and G2 is on pin 7. Yeah, so everything's set up correctly. Cutoff is fully counterclockwise. Let me put it on the tripod now. So I quickly read the directions, but you want to do all of those preset conditions before applying power. Like if I have filament voltage on 9 and filament 2 on pin 9, obviously we're going to have a short between the two filaments. I think that's what would happen. So you definitely want to make sure all of your presets are accurate on this thing. And I think we're just going to turn it on. I heard a little, sounded like something getting charged up. Alright. Now I should be at 6.3 volts already, but right there should be close enough to 6.3 volts. There's a little red. Hopefully it comes off in the video. Let me see if I can't really get it. Maybe a little bit higher. And then zoom in. Better angle maybe. Alright. Okay, what are we going to do first? We're going to do our HK shorts. And now this is going to test your heater to cathode, obviously. And if it's in the good range, that means you don't have shorts, so it'll be good. Then G1 shorts. Looks like we're good there. Now this is measuring resistance and stuff, so I don't have anything to compare it to. I might put this on my CR7000 just to have something to compare it to see what that typically looks like. Oh look, it's dropping a little bit. What? That's a little weird. Alright, cutoff test. We're going into the red. We've already set our negative bias. We're going to adjust our G2 voltage, hopefully until it goes into the cutoff where the needle moves. There we go. Got the needle to move. And you just want to be able to get it set into the cutoff range. which is that little black, square there. And it seems pretty good. I mean, it's in the cutoff, so that's good. We can achieve cutoff and adjust our G2 voltage, so it's probably like around, I don't know, 300 volts or something like that. Now let's hit our emissions. And it's dropping, which it shouldn't be, which is kind of weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Shouldn't it be stabilized? Maybe my emission test is bad? Interesting. I've never tested this tube before. Oh, something was not good with our red gun there. Let's go to cutoff test with our green gun, and we're going to I guess we can change it to green without changing. Oh, that's so weird, right? Like how it's going to throw voltage or something. No, K would just be ground, I guess. In this case, I think. So VLTP green is 6. There we go. Green is pin 6. Yeah. And let's see if we can get that into the cutoff. Nope. Nothing there. I mean, it moves, the needle moves, which is nice. And then if I go to blue, and then I want to go to pin 11, I think. And I still can't get that into the cutoff either. Alright, that's interesting. Now I bet if I lower my negative G1 bias, then I get better results, but at negative 68 I'm not getting good results. And I'm going to, let's do an emissions test here, even though I don't have it in good cutoff. Just see what the behavior is. Or we'll go negative 52, I'll adjust the cutoff, and let's do an emissions test. Okay, it's rock solid on with the blue gun, so maybe there is a problem with my red gun on this tube. If you hold the emissions test and the needle doesn't move, then you have like 12 months of life, it says, but it's barely moving. So it looks like the blue gun definitely has some life on it. And we can restore this thing, but I want to put my CR7000 on it first. What was green? VLTP green was pin 6. Let's go to our cutoff test. We can adjust it into the cutoff, but remember, I dropped my negative bias here just so I could actually get some readings on it. Verify the behavior here. Go to emissions. Hold my emissions life test. The needle doesn't move. There it goes. It's starting to move a little bit. Let's go to cutoff. Go to red. Go to, what is it, 8? Yeah, see, that's kind of annoying. You actually have to remember it, but it probably isn't that bad once you get used to it. So the restorer, the tester, is behaving normally. I'm just not sure. I haven't used it before, so I'm not confident in what I'm seeing here. Let's go to emissions. Yeah, look what's happening with that red gun. Alright, so let me power down and hook up my CR7000 and see what we get. Alright, I have my CR7000 hooked up, the settings on a VLTP22, the same tube, was negative 132 negative bias, which is pretty high for a negative bias. Excuse me. And video 2, which sets our G2 voltage range. So let's go ahead and heater volt 6.3. But you notice that I don't have to like tell it what pins are what. I mean, it's basically the socket is wiring up what is on red, and also I can, instead of testing each one individually, I can test all 3 guns at the same time. So that's a benefit of the CR7000. And I actually like the fact that the socket is hardwired, because we only use, like in the hobby, 3 or 4 sockets. You don't need that much flexibility. So anyway, this is better in my opinion. So let's go to G1 short. Interesting. No wonder that red gun was behaving like we saw. I'll have to go back and watch and see what the short showed on that red gun, because I didn't test the shorts on each individual gun. This one's testing them all simultaneously. HK short. So there's a small short. No HK short, which you can't remove, which is good. Let's go cut off low tracking, and we'll just get on the other side here. We'll adjust our red. Nothing. Green, nothing. Now before, we had to go all the way into the negative 52 range to get anything. Well, we got something on red at a negative 100. Alright, negative 84. Now granted, I might be applying slightly more G2 voltage here. There we go, negative 68. And that's just because, you know, the CR7000 can test to higher negative biases than most other restorers. So it starts with what the recommended tube manufacturer is stating. But these guns are definitely not healthy. I mean, all the way down to negative 68. And then if we check our emissions, yeah, red is jacked up. Especially if I go back to my negative 32 bias. So I've done a ton of videos on this. This is called the when you do adjust the negative bias down from what it's told you to do. It's called the extended cutoff test, and it's kind of showing you how bad off your guns are. That you're having to drop the negative G1 bias just with a similar G2 voltage just to get the guns into the cutoff, which is means you'll have poor contrast and stuff. Like the beam isn't getting pinched off, you know. And then when you go into emissions, the emission on the red gun looks terrible, and we have a small G1 short on the red gun. So I kind of have an idea, like I trust what the CR70 was saying. So let me put it back on and see if we can use the CR70's restore functions to get those guns back. Alright, I have the CR70 back on, and we're going to do our HK shorts. Now that shouldn't matter what gun we have. Let's go G1 shorts. And our red looks somewhat good. Let's go to green. Ah, that's what we should have done. We should have tested that. And then we go to blue. That looks good. Compare like all the way to the far right. Then we go back to red. And we go to 8. And you can tell there's a little bit of a short, just like what we were seeing on the CR7000. So what we want to do is we want to, let me come back to filament set again. Yeah, it's about 6.3. So we want to remove G1 short on the red gun, and you can do this up to 3 times, it says. And it says I'm supposed to watch the neck of the tube. to see sparks or something. So I don't know. I didn't read like if you were press and hold this for how long. Oh, let's see. Remove G1 shorts. Push the rejuve or restore button and watch for a flash in the CRT. That's all it says. I didn't see anything. Alright, let's check our G1 shorts. Oh, it looked like it worked. I didn't see a flash or anything. I should have filmed it, I guess, and turned the lights off. But red looks good now. And if we go to green and we go to pin 6, that's good. Blue, pin 11, that's good. Go back to red, pin 8. Oh, not good. Yeah, this tube might be jacked up if we can't get the G1 short removed. Let's go back to remove G1 short. I'm going to turn the light off. Alright, can you see the heater? No, you can't really see anything. I didn't see anything. But it looks like it's fine. Alright, go to... Oh, but now it's... Yeah, something's jacked up. Interesting. Now it's rising up a little bit. Let's go to green gun. 6. Yeah. That's not good. I wonder if I press and hold it, it doesn't really say. This should be discharging like a capacitor. I didn't see anything, so... That's not good. Let's do our cutoff test on red. See, I can get it into the cutoff, which is kind of weird. It's probably because there's a short. If I go to green, pin 6, can't get it into the cutoff. So what I'm going to do, the needle moves though, which is nice, which means that there's life on the tube, or you can do the extended cutoff and just drop it to -52 bias and then adjust it into the cutoff. And this kind of sets the stage of how much restoring activity. If you know you can get it in the cutoff at -52 and then you restore or rejuve it, you probably are going to be, you have a reference point to come back and reference, whether it's getting better or worse. Alright, so let's mess with the green guns and do, let's see, it says rejuve, auto restore, manual restore. Hold the rejuve button in only as long as the metered current increases, not to exceed 15 seconds. Okay, so I want to try a manual on this because I really don't care about this tube. So we're going to do green gun, an auto restore, and no, we're going to do a manual restore level 1, which is like what, 120 milliamps. Oh, I don't have much time left on this card. Alright, so it says I press and hold the restore function, and I can do that for up to 15 seconds, wait 10 seconds before continuing. And so we can do that as long as the current continues to increase. So as soon as this meter stops going up and it comes down, I think that's what we're looking for, right? Only as long as the metered current, bottom scaled, right there, the metered current, increases not to exceed 15 seconds. All right, here we go. All right, started to drop down a little bit. Let's go ahead and do our blue gun, and that's pin 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, wow. All right. Let's go ahead and hit our red gun too. I guess you do get kind of used to going back and forth because it's, you know, green, red is 8, green 6, blue's 11, and it's typically that way with most arcade monitors unless you're doing like a vector monitor or something. Ready, rejuve or restore, or maybe a Sanyo monitor like a 20EZ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, let's go back to our shorts, make sure we don't have any shorts. This is on our red gun. We had a short before, so I'm not, not shocking. Green 6. Should go all the way up, hopefully. That's not good. Blue. Oh boy. Look at that. Got a short on blue. That's bad news right there. Oh. Alright, I'm curious about emissions. Let's do a cutoff. Oh, the cutoff is much better. I'm at negative 68 bias, and I'm in the cutoff zone at negative 68. Let's go to our green gun, number 6. Can't, nope. But can still get it at negative 52, so we're still good there. And let's check our red. No, bad news. Alright, well the blue is definitely better. Oh, so I got pin 11, alright. Just in the cutoff, let's check our emissions. Looking pretty good on blue. Check our emission life. Yeah, the blue gun came out pretty good. Probably do a green. Let's do an auto restore on green. Do I have to press and hold it? Yeah. And it'll cut off by itself. That's 1, 2, 6.3. Alright, let's go back to HK shorts, G1 short on green. Looks like we have a little bit of an HK short. I don't know what we had before. And G1 on green is not good. I'm sure we're still bad on red too. Yeah, look at what red's doing. So yeah, I need to mess with it a little bit. This is going to be a long video just because I'm kind of experimenting and playing with it. But yeah, this is definitely will take some getting used to if I was going to use this all the time. Well, this tube here is a problem. So let's go to cutoff for red, which is crazy that it's so good because there's a short probably. Go to green. Still can't get it into the cutoff at -68. And we're burning off a little bit too much because it's not as good. But I can still adjust it into the cutoff at -52. Let's check our emissions. Not too bad. The life test, I think, just basically drops the voltage down. I think the G2 voltage, if I recall, down to 0 and just sees how long it's the gun stays, emitting diodes and stuff. Ideally, it's not really measuring that. Diodes. What am I talking about? Electrons. All right. Let's see. Let's try red. Remove short one more time. I'm going to put this on the CR7000, see if I can bring this tube back since I'm more comfortable with it. I'm just going to wrap up this video using the CR7000 because I think this tube is toast. Filament volts, it's just at 6.3. G1 short, just doing some red gun, green, blue, or simultaneous. So I'm going to stick with the red. I'm going to go to G1 short, remove G1 short. Now the thing I like about the CR7000 is while the capacitor is charging, it won't give you a ready indicator on remove G1 short until the capacitor, I guess, is all the way charged. And then when it's green, you press the button and you hold it until the light goes out. And then that's, discharges the capacitor to try to blow out the short. But I think we're not getting this thing back. See? Oh, it's trying. I mean, that's better than what it was. Green is fine, red's fine, so let's go back to a red. Like, there's no use of even, if you have shorts, you can't move on. I mean, you can test it like we were doing, but, that's not good, obviously. So let's remove G1 short again. Now, I've probably done this like 3 or 4, more than, probably 5 times now on the red gun. But at this point, if the tube's toast, I'm just going to, chuck it anyway. All right. Yeah. It's struggling. Boop. Full on short. that's, basically a dead short between G1 and K, or between K and, or G1 and G2, I guess. Crazy. All right, let's do remove G1 short again. Wait for everything to charge. Boom. That's gone. Our red gun is toast. It's got a short that I can't get rid of. That's unfortunate. I'm just going to keep hitting it. I mean, the tube's toast now, so. Well, that's what it looks like when you can't remove a G1 short on both the CR7000 and CR70. So it's a good thing I tested this tube before I put it into a game. But now this is a candidate for a tube swap, I guess. I have to find a different tube. That kind of sucks. But, oh well. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I'm going to come back and fix the other CR70 in a different video. And this was a good comparison of me learning how to use the CR70. So thanks for watching. Hope it helps somebody. And obviously I have the Mac Daddy here with the CR7000. But I'm sure with some experience I would feel very comfortable using the CR70. It just has a little bit more, things going on. A little bit, I think where you could mess up potentially. But that's it. Cheers.